What's up? What's up? What's up, good people? We trying to get everything going here. I don't even know where to begin. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. It's on. We'll fix it. It ain't even all the way up there. What's up, y'all? It's always something 2 minutes before we start, 1 minute before we start. But, we just press forward. Anyway, happy Let's Talk Love Thursday. Thank y'all so much for continuously coming and tuning in and talking love with us. You really just don't know how much that is appreciated. Beautiful people, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Love. We talk love, we live love, we learn how to love each other better. Everything going today. That's what we need to strive to. Even if you do it like just a little bit of portions of your day, that's perfectly fine. But I am your host, your girl, your favorite love subscriber, Mizz Love Doctor. And where there is love, there is always inner beauty. So y'all say what's up to my beautiful co-host. And beauty on the beat here. Okay, so I don't know if that was still playing. But we have a good episode today. But before we even get into that, I definitely want to make sure that we would like to extend love. If nobody has told you that they loved you today, we would love to be the very, very first people to tell you so. Because it's important that we share love. And I know that it's July now, and technically Men's Mental Health Month is over, but technically every month should be dedicated to all of our mental health. So we're going to continue on into July and keep making sure we just talk about the topics that we were already planning on talking about, and trying to ensure that, these conversations sit with hearts and minds and spirits, and specifically to the men, we want to make sure we tap into your emotional world. Okay. All right. So because some men give love freely, but really receiving love, I don't know. And even the giving love part, right? I think that's something to talk about, but that's where we struggle to begin. And men are expected to be the rock, the protector, the steady one, and the one who never breaks, right? Don't crack, don't cry, don't crumble, keep your head up, chest out, you know what I mean? But even the strongest men need a place to land, a place to breathe, a place to just be a human being. And I think that is ultimately so important. So we are going to introduce our guest of love before we do our heart reset. It's only befitting that we do it together. Okay. And tonight we have a powerful voice joining us here in the Le Beauty Room / Love Lounge. Yeah. A man who's willing to speak from the heart, share his truth, and help us to understand what love and support looks like from a male's perspective. It's very important, right? We want to know something, we want to learn something, you study it. We can't go by thus own understanding of things. So today's guest, a licensed mental health therapist, relationship strategist. That's my favorite part. I like that. Relationship strategist. Oh, that just like made all of my spidey senses go up. Like magic. Like, oh, yeah, something is happening. Hey, okay, listen. Okay, all right. Sorry, y'all. We just heard like some screaming or something. So I'm like, check in. But yes, author and speaker who has spent more than a decade helping individuals and couples build healthier, stronger, and more fulfilling relationships. Known for his practical nonsense approach Dr. Keith specializes in communication, emotional intelligence, self worth, and relationship dynamics. Through his counseling practices, speaking engagement, books, and online content, he helps people better understand themselves, connect more deeply with others, and create relationships on trust, built on trust, respect, and genuine intimacy. Please join me, you guys, and welcome in the one and the only Keith Faircloth, y'all.
Wow, that was a good introduction.
Thank you. I appreciate that. How y'all doing?
Good.
Hold on, we can't hear you good.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Yeah, say something.
How about now? Is that better?
No,
No.
no,
Let me try something.
Moving, but it,
that's
Uh,
yeah. Your mic is moving, but I
Yeah.
don't hear anything. Let me see. So I muted it. I unmuted it.
What about now? Is that better?
Now that's not gonna be cool.
yeah.
No.
Trying to hear what you
Well,
gotta say, brother.
Maybe let's try coming out and coming back in and see if that does anything.
what about now? Is that better?
You know,
Can you hear us?
technical difficulties.
I can hear you
You can
guys.
hear
Can you hear
us?
me?
They can hear him.
Yeah.
We just can't hear him.
Oh wow.
But I don't know
Oh,
how
y'all
that
can't.
makes
Well,
for a
thank
good
you. But
conversation.
yeah, we need to hear him. Otherwise,
Let me
Yeah.
see. Let me see what's happening over here.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something different over here. I told y'all every time.
Yep. And let me go on and see if I can.
When you say y'all can hear him,
Yeah. Just if there's anything I need to do, just let me
We
know.
got a relationship strategist
a strategist.
up in the room. Okay, let's strategize. But that is a
Hey, Ange.
who would say?
I don't
strategize. You
know
get what I'm
what
saying?
to do here. Let me
Like
see.
to say to strategize, you know, like y'all strategize. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay, maybe say something.
Can you hear me?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. You can hear me?
We both did it.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can still hear us, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
We did the
I
same
said, okay, let me slow down and problem solve. Welcome, welcome,
She
welcome.
strategized, y'all. Okay.
Because that was about to be trash.
Yeah.
So what? So how you feeling? How you doing? How was your day?
Oh no, I'm doing great. My day was great. You know, just seeing some clients, couples, and sending out some emails. Just yeah, it was good. It was a good day. Very good day.
That's good. Just
Hmm.
working and getting it in. Okay, so
Yeah.
what we do is called a heart and energy reset. And
Hmm.
so it's just kind of before we begin that we kind of create a soft, safe space. You know what I mean? We can, like you say,
Hmm.
you've been seeing clients, you've been sending emails, and so we're just gonna do like some couple deep breaths, and I'll just read with it.
Okay.
What we saying? So one hand over the heart. You could put a hand over your stomach or whatever, and we'll take a deep breath in. And whatever you are doing in this moment, just kind of allow your shoulders to drop, your jaws to kind of unclench, and catch the rhythm of your heart. It might be pumping fast like mine because it's always troubleshooting, but we get it. We get it. And so my nerves sometimes need to catch up with what's going on. So as you take your deep breaths, whisper to yourself, I deserve support too.
I deserve support too.
I am I am allowed to receive.
I am allowed to
Not to
receive.
receive.
I am worthy of reset.
I am worthy of reset.
Your preset.
And this space is safe for all of us.
And this space
This
is
place
safe.
is safe for all of us.
All right, so let's start. So the conversation is like, what does support actually look like for a man? Because um support for men doesn't always look like hugs and fruit things like women like flowers, but even though some men do like flowers, but we want to know like what it looks like coming from a respectful place, a consistent place, a place of encouragement, peace, so that you feel believed and appreciated. And
Yep.
we know that men want to feel supported and not feel weak without
Mhm.
feeling judged, without feeling like they're failing,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I think that
Yeah. About family.
my question for you as a man, and you can break it down on whatever level you would like to, is what does support look like for you?
Yeah, so I know for me specifically, what support looks like is kind of some of the things you were saying. It's having that safe space to open up and share and be vulnerable, where I'm not judged, where I'm not feeling like I have to prove myself in the sense of like prove that I have a right to have this emotion. You know, I can essentially just kind of take the armor off. Because if you think
Yeah.
about it, like when we as men go out into the world, we put our armor on, right? We don't want to be hurt, or we're fighting battles, we're fighting all types of things that nobody will ever see, right? We have so many things going on. So if you talk about support, you know, honestly, we need that safe space where we can come to and we can, again, just take everything off and just be able to be vulnerable and be able to share what's going on in our hearts and our minds, and, you know, and just be able to be heard and validated and understood in those moments. If we're talking about support, that goes a very, very, very long way. You know, and I think a lot of guys, when you hear them talk, they say, I need her to be my peace, right? But if you really break that down, what that looks like, I need her to be a safe space for me to go to where I can open up and share and be vulnerable. I don't have to worry about it being used against me. I don't have to worry about being dismissed or invalidated. I don't have to worry about those things. So that's what support looks like. That's what it looks like for men, right? Yeah.
That was deep. That was, what do you have to say?
I don't have nothing.
So
I have a lot to say, but I really want to like dive in to those, like the not proving, like you get what I'm saying?
well, my question would be like, what are some examples of those small battles that we don't know about? And I mean, I can speculate, I can guess, I can assume,
Yeah.
but just coming from you, like something that, and I'll just say it for even for your kids or for your wife or a spouse,
Mhm.
or whoever you're dating, like they're not thinking about that small thing.
Yeah. So I would say we as men, being leaders, providers, protectors, right? So it's always on our mind ultimately, am I doing enough? Is what am I doing? Is what I'm doing enough? Am I doing enough to support my family? Am I doing enough to provide to the community? Am I doing enough for my children? It's always that thought of, am I doing enough? And more often than not, the answer tends to be no, not because we're really not doing enough, but because we tend to be really hard on ourselves. Like we could be doing more. You know, my family's struggling. They shouldn't have to be struggling like this, or my wife shouldn't have to be working, or it's always something like that, right? Not to mention all the responsibilities of, well, we got to get this fixed and that fixed. And oh man, and I got to worry about the investments, and I got to worry about, there's all these things going on a daily basis, all these stressors, not to mention all the things from our childhood that was never dealt with, right? Because that's always sitting there as well. So you're carrying that, and there's a lot of men that experience trauma and hurt and abandonment and neglect and abuse and all those things, and you would never know. You would have no idea. But there's battles that we're fighting in our minds at those times when these things come up, or we're still trying to be a good husband, be a good father, be a good friend, and we're still trying to pour out to everybody else, especially that one aspect of being a provider. And I think the main reason why we stick so strongly to that one, because it's like tangible evidence of the value we're bringing, right? So now I don't like the whole question, what do you bring to the table? But for the sake of conversation, right? Usually when we talk about that, it's usually money, right? It's usually I'm providing, because that's how we add the value. And is it ever enough, right? So again, those are just some of the battles, right? That we have going on. Whether enough, am I worthy of love? That's something that, men maybe won't articulate, but it's there, right? So we try to, and kind of tie it together, we try to, prove ourselves that we are worthy of love, that we are worthy of being enough, right? But unfortunately, we only, a lot of times we just do it through the financial part, the provision part,
Okay.
or I'm showing up, or I'm doing, or I'm fixing. Because I don't know if you guys ever had a conversation with a man, and, or in a relationship. And a lot of times that's what we bring up. Well, I did this and I did that, and I did this and I did that, and I showed up in this way. It's all these tangible ways, and it's not to invalidate, the other person's concerns, but what it is it's like, I'm trying my best. And I can't tell you how many guys I've counseled, right? Either with couples therapy or individual, where it's like they say it feels like I'm just never doing, like I'm never enough, right? Like nothing I do is ever enough, like nothing ever matters. And yet they carry that feeling like that, but still continue to try to pour out. And so these are just some of the struggles that go on inside of us on a regular basis that no one would ever know about. Because more often than not, a man would never tell you that, yeah, no, I feel like I'm not enough. I feel like I'm not really worth anything. I'm feeling like the world would be a better place without me. Like these are things that guys are struggling with on a daily basis. And we shove it down, shove it down, shove it down. And you would never know. We would get up and continue to perform. You know, I had a client tell me one time he was told that men are supposed to just you lead while you bleed, essentially.
I've heard that.
Yeah. So that's
where do you think that comes from? Where do you think that sense of unworthiness stems? Like, what's the root of that?
Go back to childhood, right? You know, we're not. I'll be honest. A lot of us as men, we are not. We don't come out the womb like this, right? We don't come out the womb like this. But from childhood, from very, very young age, you're taught that your emotions don't matter. You know, so you need to just suck it up and keep pushing forward, right? You hear the statement like, you know, boys don't cry, or boys shouldn't cry, or you're being weak, and so you get socialized this way, you know. And that's if you have both parents in the house, right? But you take your father out of the house, you don't have an example, right? You know, you're trying to pull your examples from everywhere, but all the examples out there in the world say, no, you're not supposed to feel. You know, men don't feel. You need to be stoic and not feel anything and shove all that stuff down. And, you know, you're acting like a female if you do feel. So once you have all of that out there, all those standards that you're supposed to meet, the standards that other people uphold and other kids that got the same lesson they'll uphold, then you start learning like, well, shoot, I guess my emotions don't matter. I guess my feelings don't matter. And I guess in order for me to be a man, in order for me to be masculine, I have to feel nothing at all. You know, the most I can feel is anger and maybe some happiness, because then there's some guys where if you're too happy, it's like, oh yeah, you're being annoying. And so it's like, dang, I can't even be happy. So should I guess in stoic, right? And then it's so unfortunate because when we get to this state of being, if that's where it is, then we're in our relationships and we're asked to be vulnerable or asked to be empathetic. It's hard to be empathetic when I've never been able to experience what emotions are and really be able to feel them and process through them. So you're coming to me telling me that you had this hard time at work or you had a long day, and all I can give you is, yeah, so high. You just got to suck it up and just push through it. It's like, that's just what we do, as opposed to saying, yeah, that's probably, I can imagine how hard that was for you. Imagine how difficult that was for you. So yeah, it goes back to our childhood, and it goes back to how we've been conditioned, you know, by society, by cultures, by religions, by other men around us. We've been conditioned not to feel. And here's the craziest part that's so ironic. So in a group of men, we're all struggling the same way, yet not one of us will open up and say, yeah, I'm struggling like that.
Okay, I'm so glad you said that. Yeah. So that's a two-part question. We just had a conversation about it. So do you think that ideology is, what do you think? I'll just say what I think and you let me know what you think. I think that ideology systemically comes from a male and their perspective of what men looks like, and I think it's very westernized ways of being a male, but it's also culturally, you know, in the African descent culture is to be strong, you know. And so when it comes out in other ways, it's almost like nobody's giving me a space to be like this. So do you think that like the root, the stem of this thing comes from systemically from a westernized culture of males telling other males how they should be, and then that kind of filters down?
So I don't know if it's just westernized, right? Because, and the reason why I say that is because I remember watching this, I was doing this training, right? And they were talking about people in Japan, men in Japan, right? And they were talking about
I had to fix that, the cultural part.
Yeah, you know, and what the guys from Japan were saying was, we want to be able to open up and share what we're thinking and feeling as well. So they were thinking the same thing, right? I've worked with people from different cultures as well, and they're all saying the same thing. You know, Chinese, you know, Native American, you know, Hispanic, and the different, you know, Hispanic cultures out there, Jamaican, Haitian, you name it. we're all saying the exact same thing. The exact same
Yeah.
thing. Now, some
Yeah.
cultures might be even
Yeah.
more harsh with the whole idea of what a man's supposed to be, so there's additional layers on there. But a lot of times everyone's saying the same thing, and I think it does come. I would say I can't pinpoint where in history someone came up with the idea of what a masculine man's supposed to look like. So I
Right.
can't pinpoint that, but somewhere along the line, someone said, yeah, men aren't supposed to feel. If you want to be a real man, you shut all that stuff down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're
And
right.
then
You're right about the culture. I had to correct
Mhm,
that because just taking cultural awareness courses, I
mhm,
learned that that's why I learned that we're all human, right? And just
yeah,
because whatever, like an Asian, it's like, oh, they're smart. They're good at math. They're doing that, but we don't know on the backside what's happening at home.
yeah,
You
Otherwise,
get what
we
I'm
think
saying,
that,
and
yeah.
and how that festers itself. So
yeah,
yeah, my correction on saying westernized. Only reason why I said westernized because I
mhm,
think they added more of a toxicity to it
mhm,
to make it way more negative than what it should be. And
mhm,
in reality, the world has adopted westernized ways
yeah,
because they've infiltrated and sprinkled it
mhm,
everywhere that you should be like us.
yeah.
So maybe that's why I put it to that. But that was
Yeah.
great. Do you feel people expect you to give love rarely, but um you shouldn't be expecting too much back?
As far as other people's expectations, honestly, I think that a lot of the expectations we as men put on ourselves, right? I think it's, we're supposed to give love, but we're not allowed to get it back, right? I've worked with men where you ask them, hey, how do you want to be loved? How can your wife show up for you and show you that she loves you? And I can't tell you how many times it's like, well, as long as she's happy, I'm happy. As long as the kids are
Uh-huh.
happy, I'm happy. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, they are happy, but you're still not happy. So can you share
Right.
how you can be loved? But if you think about it, if I've gone my whole life and it's never been a question, I don't know. I don't know how to receive it, right? I don't know
Yeah.
even what that looks like,
Mm.
So a lot of times that you encounter that, like, we as men don't even take the time to be introspective, to think about, dang, what would make me feel loved? What
Mm-hmm.
would make me feel like I'm appreciated, like I'm desired? Like, what would make me feel that? A lot of
Yeah.
times, we default to, oh, it's sex, as long as, I can get intimacy, that's it,
Oh,
you know, and then when it doesn't happen, then it's like, well, shoot, I guess I'll just keep paying bills and, until I die, and I'll never
Yeah.
experience it. Yeah.
What would be some tools that you would give one of your clients that hasn't had the opportunity to sit down and realize they have a space to have wants and have desires when it comes to love and what intimacy looks like for them?
Yeah. So I have a tool where I love using the love languages as well. Right. So I'll have them like take the test and have them find out, okay, what is your love language? And then once I have them take that test and they find out what it is, with physical touch, words of affirmation, gifts, acts of service, anything like quality time, any of those things, then I would have them. Now I want you to make a list, an actionable list on what someone could do to make you feel loved and considered and desired. And because a lot of times, and I had to put that in there, actionable, because the list they make, anybody should be able to pick it up and say, I know without a shadow of a doubt exactly how to make you feel loved. Because too
Mm.
often they give vague, well, I just want you to spend time with me, or I just want you to let's just be intimate, or I just, just think about me more. It's like, what does that mean? Right? Because
Right.
unfortunately, there's a lot of guys that think that, oh, well, they should just know. We've been in a
Uh-huh.
relationship for 10 years. You should just know. And it's like, no, they don't. And that, unfortunately, what happens a lot of times is our women are trying to show us love. They're trying to, in the best way they know how. And because we don't know how to identify it for ourselves, the efforts kind of fall on deaf ears, right? And so now we're
Mm-hmm.
saying, you don't love me, you don't care, which now makes our wives or our girlfriends or it makes them feel like, dang, well, I guess I'm not good enough because I'm giving you
Yeah.
all of this, and it means nothing to you, and how
Yeah.
hurtful is that? All because oh, I don't know how to even express, or I don't even know how I want to be loved because I'm just not used to receiving that. Yeah.
And so both of you guys are sitting in a house feeling unworthy, not
Yep.
feeling good enough,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
miserable when all y'all both need is a hug. And like,
That's it.
to start, like just hug each other. And I think people forget sometimes you have to hold.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Especially
We so
in-
used to
yeah.
the pat, like, hey,
Mhm.
hey.
Like
Yeah.
laying, resting.
When she came last week,
Mhm.
she grabbed me and I was like, okay, I guess I should stay still. And so I asked her, I'm like, did you need that? She was like, I really did. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, well, I'm glad I could be that for you.
You need that
I didn't know it was
same
coming,
thing.
but it was, that skin to skin for sure. So
Mhm.
let's pivot over to environment that men
Yeah.
grow up in, because I know that is a foundational, fundamental
Mhm.
space.
Yeah.
And it kind of shapes
That's how you see
identity
the
and
world.
support
Mhm.
and how they see their culture. And so we know that on the surface that men are taught to handle it, don't complain, don't cry, don't need anything, be strong, be
Mhm.
stable, but don't shake,
Mhm.
fix your lip. And then when society tells men that they should never need support, they stop asking for it, they stop expecting it, and
Mhm.
then, like you said, believing that they even deserve it, which is um it's just kind of mind-blowing to me, because I guess I have to always remember that I'm me, and I look at things a certain kind of way. Because and I was gonna try to save it to the end of the show, because what you're describing is the same thing that women are saying. And so when I talk to men, I want them to realize I have some of the same things in my visible heavy backpack that you
Mhm.
have in yours, And we talked about helping people pull those bricks out.
Yeah.
But so in your opinion, and or the for yourself or maybe for your clients, how do you
Yeah.
see the environment shapes the way that we receive support?
Oof. So I'll share my experience even growing up, right? So growing up, little kid, Jamaican culture, background right now. So my parents had to work, it wasn't a lot of like relationship building interaction, so from the jump, there wasn't really anyone to really go to for help, right? So let's just put that there, right? Then you layer on discipline, right? There's no conversation, there's no emotional intelligence, there's no, hey, son, why did you do that? Why did you do this? It's you broke the rule, I beat you, and that's just it. So now, even if I did have a good reason as to why I did what I did, there's no conversation about it. So you start layering that on, and then you start being scared to even open up because you feel opening up is going to get you hurt and get you beat. So now you have to default to taking care of everything by yourself. Like there's no choice, right? Because my caretaker, my father, who I'm supposed to be able to go to, I can't go to him, right? And it depending on the mother, because Jamaican culture is a harsh culture, right? Mother's kind of the same thing. There's not a whole lot of emotional, intelligence and connection and things like that in our culture. So when you don't get that growing up, right? And then this isn't me, and also PSA, this is not me fault like tear my parents down or anything like that. I'm saying this is the culture. You
No,
don't
that's understandable. Yeah.
yeah. You can't if you don't know, you don't know. That's what you experience. And to be quite honest, my parents got a whole lot worse than I did, to be 100% honest. If it comes to talk about being open and
Mhm.
sharing and honest, and they definitely didn't get nothing like that. But you get this though. So when you start learning that, okay, I can't even trust my caretakers, right? With what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling, then who can I trust? Nobody. Okay, then I guess I just got to do everything for myself. And so that's what we start doing, right? But then you also have culture, idolizing the self-made man and do it on your own, and you got to be stoic, and real men can stand on their own 2 feet, and real men don't need help, and real men all this. And then so now it's like, well, I guess to be a real man, because I don't have anyone actually teaching me, I guess I got to do it on my own. So now you have all these things reinforcing the idea that help's not coming, support's not coming, just do it on your own. Then you have guys, there's a mantra out there saying nobody cares, just work harder. It's like, okay, nobody cares. So I guess I just got to work harder and suck it up and struggle alone. And prayerfully, I don't unalive myself, but let's just keep on going. And so you layer all these things together. And unfortunately, there's also times when we get into relationships and we might be with a woman who may not understand emotional intelligence. And so you start opening up and trying to share, like, I'm really going through, I need help. And she might be like, ew, you're not really being a man, you know, because real men don't need help. Like, you need to suck it up. So it's like, shoot, even the closest person to me is telling me that. So all that does is shut us off even more. So now, even if we desperately need help, you would never know. You would never know. Because it's like, yeah, no, I'm supposed to be a real man, so to handle it on my own. And ultimately, nobody cares anyways. I've heard that many, many, many times where like, nobody cares. So why am I going to ask for help? Why am I going to reach out when nobody cares? And it's like, I'm right here telling you right now, I care, you know? And it's like, yeah, but you're different. So you just kind of put off as like an outlier and just go back to the belief that, yeah, nobody cares. So I just got to struggle alone. And, you know, hopefully everything will turn out all right.
Even when someone's there caring.
Even when someone's there caring. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think that with all that you're saying, sometimes men take a completely different approach and decide to do nothing? You know, do you get what I'm do nothing. You know, like most, like you're explaining, I think, a type of man that's going and getting and doing and seeing. You have some men that are stagnant and will blame everybody around them for their shortcomings, which we, you know.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. That is the other side of the coin, right? You know, where it's everybody else's fault. You know, well, my woman, if she just did this, or my kids, if they just did that, or my parents, or the government, or the system, or this, or that, and it's everybody's fault why I can't get ahead or I can't move forward. You know, so you have those guys that are doing that. And unfortunately, as part of that, a subset of that is when you start getting, you give up hope, and it's like, well, nobody cares. Let me just drink it away. Let me smoke it away. You know, let me inject it away, right? Because it hurts too bad. You know, it hurts too bad. So I'm going to do something that's going to numb the pain. So at least I have some kind of respite for a little bit. I know it will come back, but I don't want to feel this deep sense of, you know, not being loved, this deep sense of hurt, this deep sense of, you know, nobody cares, right? Because there is that other side to it. And it's unfortunate, you know, because you really think nobody cares and help's not coming, then what do? Right? And you don't have that idea to, let me just keep driving forward. It's like, yeah, I just give up. You know, I'll just blame everybody else. That'll be my belief. And I'll just try to medicate myself until, unfortunately, you know, until something bad happens.
Wow. Yeah. And you're not going to ask for help. So there's that.
No. Well, there is no help, right? Because, you know, it's everybody's fault, right? And, you know, if it's everybody's fault, then they're the ones that need the help. There's nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with everybody else. Right? You know, because I'm the victim, you know, so yeah. So if you really want to help, you fix them, right? But we all know that it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way at all. Right? Yeah. You have responsibility for your own self, your own behaviors and actions. And you also have to have the courage to just ask for help and reach out and be like, you know what? I need help. I'm not in a good place right now. I can't do this on my own.
Yeah, and just knowing who to get help from. Because I think that's major too. When you ask the wrong person, it can set you back 50 paces, you know what I mean? And it took you so long to even get there and to ask for the help. And then it's like, that didn't go as planned. Okay. What question did you ask?
So I have a question, just for like,
I don't think your mic on.
I think it died.
Okay. Hit it. Okay. So my question to you is, I think that I come from my generation or my family. What I seen a lot of males, it was more like, you know how like the term mama's boy or someone that gets too much, like the coddling of them never really going far. And I can just only speak of who I was birthed into this world by, which is my father. So again, I have my worldview of men from my father, right? Yeah. Or the lack of a father. So I don't necessarily can tell what a man is supposed to be or how he's supposed to be. I can see glimpse, but it's, again, if we say fairy tale, that's only because I watch movies, right? the Huxtables, the different things like that.
Yeah.
So when I see that my grandmother coddled my father to the point where he is not able to stand on his own 2 feet. And I
Mhm.
get what you're saying of like, needing the support and you're not by yourself. But when someone does it all for you,
Yeah.
okay, like,
Mhm.
you get to pick and choose what you want to do, but you never have to show up for yourself. And I think
Yeah.
that a lot of women want men to show up for themselves, like not
Mhm.
just showing up for me as a spouse, but who are you to yourself? Not
Mhm.
just that you want to get in my pants, not just you want
Mhm.
to, like have somewhere to stay, right?
Yeah.
What how, that dynamic of someone coddling them too much to where they never really experience life at all, and they are waiting for other people to do it, because in that freeze part that you were saying, or like when they don't
Mhm.
progress, it's more of like, okay, we're handicapping our children, our sons, and I don't feel like we should throw them to the wolves. I don't feel that at all. I feel like
Mhm.
I just want to find a balance of what that looks like and
Yeah.
how to grow a healthy person. And my friend always talk about men. I mean, not men. I'm always want to talk about like the negative stuff about men, and I know it. That's why I'm over here shedding the fucking up, and I'm proud of myself. But I really want to understand, because
Mhm.
if I want to date you, I want to live with you,
Yeah.
I need to know, like, real, is this how to support really? What would that look
Mhm.
like encouraging? What does that look like where you do need to step up? Like, that's what my question is.
You need you as the spouse or them.
Or just because I'm raising sons. So what would that
Yeah.
look like when, girls are talking to them? They're, again, there's things in life that I feel like certain men should know. They should know where they want to go. They should know how
Mhm.
they want to be or who they want to be or what, before you even want to attach yourself to somebody else,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like
No.
we're about to live this life together, right?
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
don't want you to feel like you can come inside me, but you can't talk to me. You can
Mhm.
come inside me, but you cannot talk to me about your feelings, your thoughts, your dreams, your emotions. Like,
Mhm.
that to me is boggling, that
Yeah.
I can live life with you and you would just feel like, okay, I can tell you that I got a paper cut or I got hemorrhoids or something, but you can't tell me nothing. I just don't, I don't want that to continue to be the cycle. And if in spaces that we're trying to learn not to
Mhm.
be that angry, bitter person that had a bad daddy
Mhm.
that didn't show up. You're not my daddy. If I
Yeah.
have to learn to heal from that, how can we encourage you guys to heal from not feeling good enough, to heal from not feeling like you're except because again, if you're not taking those steps, you need to course correct yourself too when you're saying that you're not moving, you're being
Yeah.
still. Like, what should I be really doing something different? But I'll be quiet.
So yeah,
Okay.
no, no, you're spot on. Oh, Tasha, you want to go? You want to speak?
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go. No, you're spot on with that. You are spot on. I'll set this standard right here. If a guy cannot lead himself in his own life, if he can't be self-sufficient, right? Now, when I mean self-sufficient, I'm not saying he can't ask for support and help, but I'm saying like this man can stay in his own place. He has dreams and goals. He's striving towards them. He's ambitious. If he can't do that, if he can't lead his own life, how can he lead you? He can't. How can he lead a family? He can't. So you're spot on. Like a lot of time, unfortunately, but we're just taught to get in a relationship, and we'll work it out, But no, like we should be vetting people first and foremost. And I don't want
Mm-hmm.
dating thing, but the point I'm trying to make is that yes, there needs to be that he needs to be developed, right? He needs to be able to lead his own life, and that should be evident. You ask him questions like, "Hey, where are you trying to go? What are you trying to do? What does the future look like for you?" Things like that. He should have a plan. Yeah, I'm not even saying he has to have it all together. I'm not saying he has to be, out the box, great, right? There's a lot of guys that don't really hit their stride and really start going until they hit their 40s, right? But they're working
Okay.
towards something, right? So you should be able to see that before you decide to, again, kind of hit your wagon to him, right? Because if a woman is supposed to be submissive to her husband, right? The person you'll be submitting to has to be worthy for you to submit to. And this isn't just, if you think about just leadership in general, right? I don't want to follow someone who doesn't know where they're going. I don't want to follow someone that doesn't have a plan. I don't want to risk my life up in the military. I don't want to risk my life for this guy. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't even know which end of the gun fires the bullets. I'm not going to submit to him. Who, him? No, absolutely not. So even that whole idea, like, yeah, it's because I trust him, right? So that's first and foremost. It's what you were saying, though, as far as these guys are not developed, these guys that have been coddled, these guys that don't have, the other side of the coin when it comes to, growing up, right? Because the fact of the matter is, women, you guys are great at nurturing, you're great at being there, being empathetic and things of that nature. But there is another side where it's like, okay, the men come in and say, okay, now I need you to, he's going to be all right. You want to be there. You want to say, it's like, no, he's going to be all right. I got him. Right. I think a great example of that. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jason Wilson, the guy that has the Cave of Adullam. I believe it's in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. But he does a lot of.
Is it in Michigan?
Yeah.
Maybe Michigan.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Michigan. But like that's something he does, right? He starts teaching these young boys not just how to be men, but also how to be emotionally intelligent at the same time. Right. So now when we get to like, like, how do I get you to show up for yourself, right? I think that's what you were asking, Marquita, right? So, we would be able to have a open and honest conversation, right? You'd be able to say, hey, let's say you guys are on a date, like, hey, yeah, I've been talking a lot about myself and sharing, like, but I don't really hear you saying much, about yourself, and about, your likes, your fears, your things like that, And if he's in the space where he's like, yeah, that's a good point, or yeah, I don't really like to open up about that. I have a hard life, hey, I just figure like, hey, the past is in the past. Let me move forward, even just having a gentle conversation, like, hey, you might want to go see a therapist about that. You shouldn't have to carry that stuff alone. You shouldn't have to deal with that, and honestly, the past isn't just the past. I think many people, there's millions, if not billions of people who wish the past could just be the past. But when you're struggling with the same hurt and abuse and neglect and abandonment day after day after day, and it's showing up in all your relationships, then we know for sure the past is not just the past. The past is very present. So we should be able to be having a conversation with them where he'd be receptive to hearing that, right? But how we convey that message is important too. Because if you say, man, you got problems, you don't open up, you just closed off, that demeanor is gonna be like, yeah, no, and that's exactly why I close off, because I don't feel safe to open up. Because I think then that's another, I guess, a secret as well. The secret's gonna be out that we do want to open up. We as men, the hardest men, doesn't matter where we do want to open up. We don't want to feel like we have no support. We want to open up. But quite honestly, we're scared to do so, which makes sense, right? If I've never been taught emotional intelligence, I've never been taught how to handle, my fears and I've never been taught how to deal with that. Now you want me to open up and be vulnerable. I have no protection. I have no knowledge of how to set boundaries. I have no idea about anything. What happens if I open up to the wrong person? Then when they take it and they just rake you over the coals. And so that's why a lot of us as men, we're like, yeah, no, we don't really want to open up. We'll just, yeah, no, I'm all right. Yeah, not happened to me. But, I would say this. I've actually even heard men, who said that, yeah, I've been like molested as a child. But, that was a long time ago. I'm good. It don't bother me anymore. Like, you go to therapy for it? You process through it? No, I'm just good. I'm good. I'm like, I mean, that's pretty traumatic. And you good? Shoot, like I got some beatings that I was, I had when I was younger, and I'm not good from that. And you good from that, So, right. But when you've been taught to, no, you just got to keep pushing forward. That's what ends up happening. So I would say when it comes to like really cultivating those men who maybe have been coddled, maybe haven't had the other side to where they were able to stand on their own 2 feet. Because ideally, like in a marriage, right, when we're raising our children, they're supposed to be the mother's supposed to give the love and the affection and the care and the softness and all that. So like you were saying your grandmother was doing for your father, that's not necessarily wrong. That's not bad. Like she's doing what she's supposed to do. The problem is your grandfather, he was supposed to come and balance that out. So like even in my own family with my own kids, when I was raised, my wife, you know, I love how she loves our kids, because my kids feel loved to the utmost degree by their mother. And I absolutely love it. Right? But sometimes, you know, when I'm trying to help them stand on their own 2 feet, you know, that love will come and try to, no, that's my baby. Right. You know, no, it's too hard. I even share this one story. My son was he was on the treadmill and he was running on the treadmill, and he was just, I'm gonna be honest, he was doing the most. He was again. I mean, he was just doing the most, absolute most, right? And I'm like, no, I know my son. I know what's going on. Hey, this is what you got. I'm coaching him through it. But his mom came running over. You know, you gotta let him off. If something happens, he's gonna. Oh, I'm like, babe, it's fine. I got him. I'm right here. I'm not gonna let anything happen to him. No, but he's gonna be. Yeah, but I had to be there so that, yeah, he can stand on. He can see that he can do this, right? You know, I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie 300. There's a scene in the beginning where they're taking Leonidas when he's a kid away to be trained, and the whole idea of like the Spartan society is like everybody's supposed to be super strong. But then in the background, you see the mother having to be held by 2 men. Why? Because she still was trying to love on her baby. She didn't want anything bad to happen to her. But we as men, like leading our sons, you know, we have to say, hey, we'll be there. If you fall, if you fail, we got you. But you got to get out there and know that you are capable. You know, and that you can do it. So I would say for those men who are struggling with that, the men who have been coddled, the men who have not been able to stand on their own 2 feet, showing up for yourself is going to look like I need to get with another man who's going to hold me accountable, hold my feet to the fire. Then whenever I try to make excuses for why things can't be done, he's going to be like, no, it's not on them. It's on you. And allow him the safety and the openness to open up and share what it's got going on, but also be willing to be challenged to do something different and recognize that he actually can stand on his own 2 feet. So for your sons, if their father is not in the picture, I would say try to find a mentorship program. I know for here in Vegas, King of Jewels, that's a phenomenal mentorship program with Dr. Sean Torrey and the co-founder Nicholas Matthews, right? And they literally mentor these young men from like 14 to 18, maybe even a little bit older, but they pour into them. They show them how they can stand on their own 2 feet. So there are resources out there. You just have to find them and be able to get your sons in there. Or for any woman who may have sons and their father's not in the picture, or the father's not really being that great influence like he needs to be for whatever reason, find a good, strong mentorship program that can help them stand on their own 2 feet and learn that they are capable of not only standing on their own 2 feet, but also knowing when it's okay to ask for help and get that support. Yeah.
That's major.
Thank you.
That was your second question? Yeah, that's
no, I'm good.
Okay, so let's share a moment when someone kind of showed up for you and supported you in a way that kind of changed you.
Oof, man, there's a lot of moments like that. I would say when my friends from church, right? My friends from church. I had my friend Amilka, my friend Shanathan, my friend Frank from church. When my wife, we got pregnant before we got married, right? And so, you know, I was a young guy at the time. I didn't know up from down or left from right. I don't know anything about being a father. I don't know anything, right? So I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I don't know what this looks like for the church. I don't know what it looks like at all across the board. But they were there, right? And they didn't even necessarily have answers. And I think that's another thing as well, is that we think that the person, if to get support, they have to have answers, right? You know, and a lot of times, and I don't know if, you know, we've been in these situations where a guy's trying to give you solutions to the problem, right? Because a lot of times we as men are solution focused because we've been trained to be solution focused. But in that moment for me, when I was scared, when I didn't know what to do, you know, my friends, they were there for me, right? They spoke with me. They allowed me to speak, allowed me to share what I was experiencing, my fears, right? My pastor, same thing. They allowed me to share, what I had going on. And the thing they said is, hey, we'll walk with you through this, right? Because imagine this point in time, I'm young and I gotta tell my parents, mind you, I told my Jamaican parents, right? So, good grades and stay out of trouble. That's how I kept, afloat for most of my life. And now I didn't stay out of trouble, right? So having my friends in that moment, having them just be there to listen, right? And there's other moments in my life where not just those friends, but other people where I was just going through it. And I felt like there's times when I felt shame. My brother, he's another example. He's been there for me. My brother right above me, he's been there for me through thick and thin, through so many things. And one of my most shameful moments, that almost had an affair on my wife, my most shameful moment, right? Then it's like, dang, I messed up. I look bad, everything like that. I could go to his house, right? And there was no judgment. And there was no even a conversation. It was just, hey, here's a space for you, man. Yeah, I know you messed up. I know you made a mistake. He didn't co-sign. He didn't say like, yeah, you should have, or, whatever. He didn't say anything like that. Or, yeah, you're okay with that. Or it's not that big of it. He didn't say anything like that. He was just like, you need a space. Your wife kicked you out, rightfully so. Right. And he's just, just come over, and I was there and I was ashamed and I was sad and all those things. And he was just there. So a lot of times, it just helps for someone to be there. And I have other moments like that as well, where just someone was just there. Right. I was going through it and someone was just there. And believe it or not, that level of support, it could be enough for the man in your life. Just someone to be there like, hey, it's okay. You can be vulnerable. You can break now. It's all right. So you don't got to hold it all together. You don't got to be the strong one right now. Just let it go. And that's enough.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Do you have a moment when someone showed up for you that changed your life?
Oh, I feel like,
or just changed you in general?
Well, I mean, being a product of the 80s, I can definitely say, like, when family stepped up and opened their houses to me, to where it was like, hey, this is, I didn't have to go to foster care. I didn't have to, you get what I'm saying? Like all of those things, even though I've been in the foster system, but I didn't have to stay there. Once that happened, it was like, hey, we need to get, and my grandmother stepped up, the one on my father's side, who I don't really have a good relationship with. So it's crazy because, again, I got to understand why she was who she was. But it was just, she showed up for me in that space where she didn't have to. And that's why I feel like I help a lot of people in that way, because people don't have to. I wasn't your responsibility.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I respect that.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, I love what you said about that. Like you said, people stepping up when they don't have to. So I'll be honest, that drives a lot of what I do now, because people were there for me when I was at my lowest. It's like, I want to return, pay it forward and be there for other people at their lowest. And know that, if for nothing else, it's, hey, you're not alone, right? I'm here. Not even saying, hey, it's gonna be okay. Hey, just buck up. Not that. Just no, you're feeling what you're feeling, and that's okay. I'm here. If you need me, I'm here. And that's a lot of times, again, that's all people need.
Yeah, most times you don't need anybody to say anything. You kind of just need a listening board to, or not. Like sometimes it's okay to just can we just sit here in silence?
Yes, like
and let me think and process
without
all the berating questions. So I have several too, but I'm like, do I want to go too deep? Do I want to go
say how what you feel
surface? But the first one that like really like touched me to the core, which it makes me want to find her. When my boyfriend was murdered, I was instantly homeless, right? Because they did it at my apartment. And my coworker, we knew each other, but we weren't friends. And I probably never been to her house before, but like she was like, I know you, and I know you need to take a bath and you need to relax. She was like, I'm gonna give you my room. I have a Roman tub. I got some candles. Like she gave me a space to decompress And then she was just like, you can stay here as long as you want. Like literally shared her bed with me. Like I slept in the
Wow.
bed with her. And then she moved out and gave me that apartment.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. So I needed to find her just off of that
Yes.
thought
Oh my
alone.
God.
It was just a
Where
act
she
of
work?
kindness.
Come on, we're about to find her. This about to be a
Yeah.
reunion. Hey, that's a deep
Yeah.
wow.
I just remember her saying, like, I know you need to relax, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was definitely deep. Um, let's see.
Oh my God.
I had to put that King of Jewels down there. So let's talk about the difference between accountability and criticism.
Ooh,
And so we know that accountability is not criticism. They're two different things.
They are.
And criticism is
They
not
are.
accountability. They're two separate things. And you
Yeah.
know, based off of everything that you just told us, we realize that men shut down when they feel judged. They already have this internal spiral of communication that's going through their heads. And you know, they probably only open up when they feel supported, but when is that? If they're already saying, if you're already saying like, yeah, this person is here, she care, but or you know, he or she cares.
I've been saying that. I love that.
And accountability sounds like I believe in you. I know that you can do better. I'm here for you, you know. And criticism sounds like you said, you're failing, you're not enough, you should be doing more. And we have heard that so much. And one of my favorite shows is Couples Therapy. And Dr. Honor is my girl.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to watch it because I turned off like all these different streamings and I kind of forgot about it, but it was brought to my attention and I'm just scrolling on the page and there's this one episode that always stuck out to me because like the conversations her and I have is like, you know, she sees the great in women and I'm like, nah, friend. It's some women out there that's like, it's some women out there that's not, they're not us. So there's a difference. And there's this one lady and you watch it. So maybe I can help you remember it. They were, I want to say they were a Jewish family because he had a yarmulke on and she had a baby and he wasn't, I don't know if he was working or if he wasn't working enough. And she went off on that man and she shrunk him down so small and she was like, you're pathetic, you are worthless, like I hate you, I don't know. And the Dr. Orner had to stop her like, what are we doing here?
I'm not gonna say
and
none
she
of
had
them
to
words.
like stop her because she was
I ain't never said none of them
now
words.
going off on her and it just
Like,
pierced
how would
me
you
to the point of
feel?
like understanding that in my mind of what it looks like is not what every man is experiencing.
Thank you. Because I know that like I would never want somebody to talk to me like that. But it's like, again, when you are fighting for a relationship and you're fighting for like, hey, we're living life together. We're living life together. If I'm not serving you, talk to me. If you're not serving me, I'm talking to you. So you can't just go into your cocoon or go into this and use the same things of like, well, I wasn't taught this and I'm like, but right now you're in a whole relationship. I wasn't taught to be a wife. I know of the things that people what society wants it to look like, but I'm trying to make sure that I hit A, B, C, D through Z. And if you only want to do A, G, Z, okay, and I'm doing enough. I just want peace. I want it to be where, hey, it's fair. Okay. I believe in fair. I believe in, again, I don't believe that I shouldn't want to watch you have the whole world on your shoulder. I should not have to watch you carry the whole world on your shoulder. Why do you want me? Why would you even want me if I'm willing to see you watch it and then step on it and then jump on it, then bring the kids on it? What do you need me for? Why would you want me? I feel I need to be as service to you just as I want you to be as of service to me. We are walking on this earth together. We are holding our kids on the back of us and our family and the things that we want. So it should be fair to say, again, if I want to be on a winning team, right? Because
Mhm.
men always talk about, y'all know about sports, they know how to, think about it in that
Mhm.
way. You
Yeah.
can't just say, hey, I won the game or I won the ship and you stayed on the bench.
Mhm.
It's two people. It ain't a whole regiment, it's not a whole group of people that's in that. It's just us two. So
Yeah.
we are trying to win this game, life, right? The fear of, hey, baby, you did that 3-1 right there. You see that alley oop? I want
Mhm.
that type of love. I want
Yeah.
that type of interaction. And when I think about love and basketball in that same way, I kind of understand what it meant because I didn't understand it until I
I gotta
understand
do
it.
another one.
And when we played the love and basketball, those are things that,
Mhm.
again, I didn't know how to say my name.
She's referring
Yeah.
to I hosted a love and basketball
But I was
game.
also talking about love and basketball too.
Oh,
Yeah.
the movie. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
But hers actually helped me understand because she asked questions that I
Mhm.
couldn't answer myself. So if
Mhm.
I expect my husband to do that and I can't answer myself, then
Yeah.
I got to work on something for me. And that helped
Mhm.
me. And that's why I said there are spaces out there. And if
Mm.
there is not, create them.
Yeah.
Create them. And
Mhm.
I don't want to keep hearing the same story that y'all feel that we say, some that feel that we say, like, the violins, the saxophones, whatever. I want men to be greater for themselves, not just to protect, not just to provide, but to be who you want to be. And
Yeah.
and don't choose people that is something that's going to make you feel small because you want to talk to someone that wants the house on the hill, that wants this, that wants that. And you shouldn't, again, if she wants you to do that all by yourself, then maybe that's not the person for you.
Mm.
We're like pushing all of these things and all of these narratives of what men don't feel good enough or women don't feel good enough because we're choosing to go to the people that don't see the value in us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
true.
So how do you prefer to
Ooh.
be
That's
held
true.
accountable without
Yeah.
being or feeling? She's not saying. I'm just, you know,
Because I'm
Hey,
trying to
we
do a
both
little
hey,
bit
like,
more.
spot on. Yay.
But I believe
it's good
that.
to
Yeah.
know that when you think a certain thing that you're not wrong, and it's good to get validation from the
Yeah.
opposite sex,
Yeah. No,
right? It's
absolutely.
like, you know,
Y'all are worthy. Y'all
yeah.
are loved. Y'all are needed. Okay. Whether we tell you to turn on the light or fix the light y'all are still
Mhm.
needed, right? And
Mhm.
I don't want my sons to think that. I don't want my husband to think that. But
Mhm.
y'all also have to do. It's not that you have to prove. You don't have
Yeah.
to prove anything. Be who you want to be. Be who you are. And if that's alone, then be alone. Don't bring and be with someone to have the benefits of them and not want to participate in life. In
Yeah.
life.
In life, drop mic.
You're
So
spot on. Yeah.
how do you prefer
Thank you. I feel better.
or suggest to be held accountable without feeling attacked?
Yeah.
It's
Is
a
it
lot of times it's how
tone?
it's conveyed, right?
Okay.
Because unfortunately, there's a lot of you statements that go across and they come across as criticism. You're not doing enough.
Okay.
You're not there for your son enough. You don't show up enough, or you're always late when you come home. So when it comes across like that, it comes across as criticism, right? Like, oh, I'm not enough, right? So a lot of times we push back on that. If we're talking about accountability, for one, make sure we're asking, hey, it's now a good time to talk, right? So not just kind of on a whim, like, oh, I was just thinking, hey, you should just do this, or hey, you're not doing that, or whatever the case may be. Hey, can we talk? Yeah, I want to share something that I noticed about what you have going on. I think it might help you, right? Because I'm holding you accountable to help you, not to put you down, right? So it's like, hey, have you thought about, I'll give you a perfect example. My wife would come to me and say, hey, Keith, you thought about, maybe like getting on the radio and doing like a radio spot or something along those lines, to kind of help, improve your business or whatnot. And I'll be honest, because my own issues at first, my own internal not feeling like enough, when she would bring it up, I would view it as like, oh, I'm not, it's just a reminder that I'm not good enough. It's a reminder that I'm behind the 8 ball. It's a reminder that I'm just not providing. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, right? So for men, we got to get out of that mindset, right? Because Marquita, like you just said, you guys are there to help us, right? You're there to help us be better. That's the whole purpose. We get together. It's like, hey, how can we build each other up? How can you pour into me? How can I pour into you? That's what it's supposed to be. And unfortunately, I think us as as men, a lot of times it's like, well, we take pride in being able to do everything on our own. Again, because now we're fitting society standards, culture standards. Like, oh yeah, because that's a man. Which is, I'm going to share this real quick. It's kind of crazy that we think we have to do it alone, when the fact of the matter is nobody anywhere ever does anything alone. No great man ever did anything alone. No great leader or general did anything alone. So I don't understand why we get this idea that, oh, to be a man, I have to do it alone, when it's never been done in the history of humankind, ever, ever. There's no such thing as a self-made man, nowhere. You look at any great man, I can guarantee you there are.
So is that logical thinking or no?
That are poured into him across the board. People that give them, a lot of times there's someone that gave him an opportunity where, you wouldn't have got it otherwise. Someone gave him a strategy or a tip. I was telling a client the other day that, there are so many unknown people. We talk about people who've changed our lives, right? There are so many unknown people who have changed the world, and you would never, ever, ever know their name, ever. Because all those great guys that you see, you start hearing them tell their stories, and somewhere down the line, there was some random person that did something that impacted their life in a positive way, right? So the whole idea of being self-made and I got to do it all by myself, like, it's just not real, right? It's just a lie we believed, and we're trying to live the lie out, and it's not working. So kind of back to what we were saying as far as that accountability, what we need to do, right? So now get your mind right. If it's coming to us the right way, like, hey, I think I was thinking about this. I think this might be a great idea for you. This might be something for you to try. Or, hey, I noticed that, you're having a hard time with this. Hey, can you, is there anything I can do to help? But how we convey the message is important. I've heard that time and time again as well. The way the message is conveyed is very, very important. Because if the message is conveyed in a way where it's not making the man feel safe, he's not going to be receptive to it. And a lot of times we might have the best of intentions, or our wives might have the best of intentions, but just the way the message was conveyed, it shuts them off from receiving it. Especially if there's a history or pattern of messages being conveyed like that. Right? So as far as the accountability is concerned, I think it's important for us to first do the work on ourselves, right? Make sure that we're in a good space to receive it. Make sure we're not dealing with our own past traumas. Like, really do that work. Right? We're living in a day and age now where there's really no excuse for you not to get the help you need. There really isn't. Right? There's podcasts, there's books, there's videos, there's coaches, it's across the board. There is so much help everywhere. There's no excuse where you can say, well, I don't know how to be a man, or I don't know how to, do this or do that. I don't know how to communicate. There's so much information out there. There's no excuse to stay the same way. So even if you say, like, hey, I'm not prepared to be a husband, I'm here, I want you, but I don't know how to do this, there's plenty of help out there. Plenty of help out there to get on the ball. So get that stuff fixed in you, and then as men, like, be willing to receive, right? You're not lesser than because your wife is giving you an idea that maybe you didn't come up with yourself. Because there's a pride. For some men, it's a pride thing. Like, I'm supposed to have it all together, so I'm supposed to be leading her. How is she gonna tell me I got this? Don't tell me which way to turn. I know where to turn. I know where I'm going. And it's like, I'm trying to help you, right? I'm trying to help you. I even share another story with my wife. I was taking my son to school, and I know how to get to a school, but she was giving me like the play-by-play directions, play-by-play. Hey, you got to go here, then you turn here, then you do this, then you do that, and da-da-da-da. You keep going on down the line, right? And in the past, I would have got mad. Like, I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. Stop bothering me. I know. But I did the work on myself. And I was like, you know what? I'm appreciative that my wife loves me enough to take the time to give me as much detail like that to make sure I get to where I'm trying to go. I appreciate that. So that's another thing as well. Being able to appreciate the help that you get. Appreciate the fact you have someone in your corner that does love you, that does care about you, that does want to pour into you, right? you appreciating that and then taking that help. And instead of looking at the accountability about how we can do things better, instead of looking at it like, oh, she's attacking me, right? It's like my wife cares enough about me that she's bringing this to my attention. And now I'm going to listen. And now I'm going to take it into consideration because she's probably seeing things that I don't see. And that's a huge thing as well, right? You know, we're on a team, right? And we're together. There's some things that I'm not going to see that she sees. Just like if we're playing football, right? The quarterback will be there, get the guys in the huddle, and he'll start asking the guys in the huddle, what do you guys see out there? Why? Because I can't see it all. So then they say, oh, yeah, I see this. Okay, let's attack that. It's the exact same thing. So as far as accountability is concerned, the way we bring it up is important. The way our wives bring it up is important. Right? Hey, babe, hey, I just want to share I just want to talk to you. Hey, some things I think that might help you or some questions I have for you. That's another thing as well. How we bring it up, we can just ask questions. Hey, babe, have you thought about this? If you've fallen short in an area, right? Hey, have you thought about maybe spending a little bit more time with the kids? They miss you, they love you, and they were talking to me about how they miss you. They haven't seen you in a while. As opposed to you don't spend enough time with the kids. You're always at work. These kids need you. Tighten up, right? You're like, let's go, chop, chop, let's go, right? That's not going to be received well. But hey, have you thought about this? Have you considered?
I remember.
What would be a good way if you were attacked?
If I was attacked as a man, like as I was attacked, or if the wife was attacked.
Like if you're saying, "Hey, babe, have you thought about this?" and they just jump 5150 with you, why you like you said, like you did the work, but let's talk about the ones who did not do the work. So you're actively in this situation and they automatically reject you. They automatically start deflecting and low-key push you away. Like what would be the natural next thing for the spouse or the supportive person to do?
Because if you start off by asking more questions and you're like, hey, and you bring it up multiple times, then when does it become like, oh, okay, well, stop nagging me about?
Well, he already said what that is. If they're at a place of you saying you're nagging, they got to figure out themselves.
Okay.
They got to do their own work because, like you say, you can't lead yourself. You can't lead a family.
And actually, even to that point as well, we talk about like nagging or whatnot. I have something I call the rule of two. And the rule of two is I'm only going to bring something up twice. If the third time, I'm not going to talk about the third time. The next time I bring something up, it's going to be like, I've talked about this twice and it hasn't been addressed or hasn't been, hey, what's going on? Where's the gap? Like, what's keeping you from doing the thing or addressing this thing that I brought up twice already? Because asking him a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth time is not going to do it. There's something that's keeping him from doing the thing that you're talking about or addressing the situation. So I strongly recommend employing that because you never get to the point of, well, you're always bringing it up. No, I don't always bring it up. I brought it up twice. I brought it up once. Right. There wasn't a response or you deflected. I brought it up again. Same thing. Now I'm not talking about what that thing is. Now I'm talking about the gap. What's the problem? What's keeping you from even receiving this information? Because that's the real problem. The real problem is you're not able to receive this information. So I would say that's as far as that part.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Now, as far as if you do bring it up, right, and let's say they are deflecting or they are, getting snappy or things of that nature, first we make sure we have good communication because like, whoa, hold on, wait, is everything okay? Like, because I'm just trying to help you. I just want to see you succeed. I want to see you flourish. And, I feel like, to me, it feels like I'm being attacked or I'm being, dismissed, So I'm not saying that, oh, you are dismissing me. I'm not making an accusation. I'm not saying you are hurting me or you are attacked. I'm just saying, hey, whoa, this is my perspective. This is where I'm coming from. This is what I feel. This is what I was trying to do, And again, ask the question, is everything okay? Like, well, what's going on? Does this question bother you? And asking those questions, right? Now, if it continues into something that's where it's like berating, you need to get berated, right? If you're the wife, right? That's when you say, that's when you set your boundary. Like, whoa, hold on now, wait, pause, right? Now we're moving from, being that loving, supportive to being, now we got to be a little bit assertive because your thoughts and feelings matter too. You're not a punching bag. You don't deserve to be treated bad, especially if you're trying to help somebody out. So that's when you say pause. I don't know what's going on with you, but the way you're talking to me right now, we're not doing that. You know, that's not going to happen. I didn't say anything. So if we're going to have this conversation, you whatever your boundary is, hey, you got to check your tone or whatever it is. But otherwise, you know, I'm going to just back away from this conversation, right? And so making sure you set your boundaries if that happens, right? So now if it's like, oh, you know, but this is something super important and really has to get taken care of, you know, and he's just not listening for whatever reason, I think unfortunately that's when the wife's like, well, I got to just, I guess, pull up my own sleeves and take care of it. But hopefully he never gets to that point. Hopefully he can be receptive, because here's another part to it as well. If you're not attacking him, if you're not doing any of those things, then when you leave that situation, he can't go back and say, oh, well, the reason why she said, she didn't say anything. She said, I want to help you. I love you. I care about you. I see this. I think you can help you. You know, you snapped at me, you know, and I said, hey, I didn't mean to hurt you or anything like that, but I don't want to be talked to that way. And I walk away. Now, all he has left to deal with is his actions and his behaviors. Why was I snapping? All she was asking a question. Dang, yeah, what's wrong with me? What's going on with me? And I'll be honest, that was me at one point in time, right? My wife was the one that was asking questions. Thought about this, thought about that, and because my own insecurities and my own issues, I kept snapping back. And then eventually one day I had to slow down and think, because she was sharing something again. I never forget it. She was in the bathroom doing her hair, you know, not even looking at me, just doing her hair and asking me questions. And she started, hey, Keith, do you think about, you know, yada, yada, yada. And I felt myself go just like this. And I leaned against the wall. And I thought in my mind, I said, oh, here we go again. Right. Thinking it's going to be, you know, again, my own insecurities. But then I stopped and I asked myself the question. I said, she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't say anything wrong. I'm mentally processing it in the moment as she's talking. Like, all she did was ask, you know, about how I can do things better and how, you know, I could, you know, level up and do better and great ideas. That's all she asked. So I literally uncrossed my arms. All the defensiveness kind of just relaxed and went away. And I was able to receive what she was saying. And from that day forward, it was always like that. So I had to do that work myself. Yeah. So
that was amazing. That was amazing. Thank you. Yeah, that was great. Before we close, I think we should tap into these comments because we have some in here. And we might be a little late behind the ball, but Aurelia, hello, Aurelia. Before a man can apply that label to himself, he needs to first be able to distinguish the difference between, I don't know if it's playing a man or saying I'm a man, and showing what a real man, not a boy pretending to be a man.
Yeah.
Yes. Somebody said facts. Is this your son?
No, it's Marcus.
Okay. Let me see. I messed up. And then she said, at least you are telling the truth through what you came to understand the answer to why you've adopted that thought pattern. I heard a man say that the reason a man has a hatred for a woman, even if she is loving him, is based on his feelings about women and how the first woman that he loved, that being his mother, showed him what he thought a woman love was supposed to look like. If your own mother who birthed you shows you nothing but hatred and regret, giving birth to you, as well as treating you like you aren't worth it.
Okay.
That's deep, because I think, and this is just my opinion, that we often joke about the girl that hurt you at the playground. We always say men hold you to that girl that wouldn't hold your hand on the playground. Now all dark-skinned girls ain't SHIT, you know.
She didn't check yes on the box when I said, do you like me? Right? She didn't check yes, right? Crushed by that, right?
She kind of clowns you, threw your note on the ground, and you know the other boys was like,
embarrassed because you got, you know, rejected. And again, rejection is something big, but that's a whole other topic.
Yeah, and you know that that during that puberty phase, that rejection is something completely different, earth-shattering, because it's that first big emotion.
Yeah,
you know,
but that's a big backpack for us too.
Taking it back a step forward. from the playground if your mother is the
That's what,
one
yeah,
who regrets you or
yeah, make
neglects
you,
you. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeremy said,
oh no, go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh,
No,
I
go
was just
ahead.
gonna say, yeah, carrying those rejections, carrying that hurt, and then sometimes the crazier part is that there'll be good women that are showing love and giving love and pouring into their man, and it is the craziest thing. He doesn't believe he's worthy of it, right? If you go back to the mother wound, right? He was never worthy of it then, and now the love you're showing is a sign that I'm not worthy of this. And so they'll actually sabotage the relationship. They'll actually shut things down and push her away. You're doing too much. Just get off of me. You're doing too much. It's too much, right? It's not that you're doing too much. It's not that there's anything wrong with the love you're giving. The problem is I don't believe I'm worthy of it. I don't believe I'm worthy of love. And so therefore, every time I receive it or someone tries to give it to me, it's just a constant reminder of I'm not good enough. I don't deserve this. And so
we feel the same way. Crazy.
Once we finally start listening to one another, we'll realize that a lot of the same things we're experiencing, like we're kind of all on the same page. And a lot of these guys that like hate women and things like that, just like they're hurt just like you're hurt. Instead of pushing people away and following all these alpha male influencers and all that stuff like that, and all that, instead of doing that, like why don't we just sit down, learn how to deal with our emotions, learn how to communicate, and once we find out like we're on the same page, the same things you feel, the same things I feel, we love each other. I've never had a couple come into my sessions or come into my office that don't love each other. It's always, I don't know how to convey that to you in a way where you could receive it. That's what it always boils down to. But the love is there.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Jeremy said, that's why I've always said since a young boy, where's the rule book on how to be a man? And no one could answer.
I wonder why that is.
Because there really isn't a rule book on how to be one. But like you just said, I think we coexist in each other's orbit. And once we realize that we need each other to coexist, you can realize that the rule book is not necessarily on how to be a man per se, but it's how to be a good human and show up for others in the same way that you want to be showed up for. Right. And that goes hand in hand in a relationship. It's like if you are showing up in a way, and when you were saying how to convey it, right?
Yeah.
I think it's very important to ask that person, how should I convey it?
Yeah.
Because we don't always know how to convey it. You may say, well, just be more softer. And I might come and say, okay, is this soft enough? But you ain't doing this and you ain't doing that, but if soft means no, tell me how to communicate with you. Tell me how to treat you when the world is too heavy for you. Let me know when you walk in this door that you need to drop all that stuff from out there. You need 30 minutes to decompress. Like we need to learn how to treat each other in order to treat each other correctly. So I think don't forget that key part. If you want to know how to convey something to them in a way where they can receive it, you got to ask them what that's like. And they need to know.
They need to know.
Yes. No.
And I was ashamed that I didn't know. You get what I'm saying? I was ashamed that I didn't know. And I'm expecting for someone to show up in a way that I can't even articulate my needs. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, girl, what makes you happy?
And see, for me, I think somewhat even articulating it, because you don't even really get to the meat and potatoes because it's already kind of being conceived as difficult. I'm like, oh, I thought we were communicating here. Like I thought we were, because I don't want to show up and be like, yep, I'm a good woman and I'm gonna do good. But I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know that until I get to know you and know how I need to treat you.
Yeah. And that's where, again, you shouldn't be just silent in a relationship. You should be able to say how you feel, what you want, what your, intentions for even dating me. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's okay for you to say that, you look good, but I don't really want no real life with you. Oh, okay. I get to choose to say, you know what? You look good and I don't really see a real life with you either. But I want to see what that look like. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I feel like when again, the honesty, where it's like, to me, it's the honesty part of just trying to love another human being. And for sure, I'm always the girl's girl. And for sure, because I have a lot of jadedness from men, and men who did not show up, did not perform, did not not even perform. I feel like, but to me, I kind of that is. It's like, how do you show up for your family? How do you show up for your woman? How do you show up for the people that is holding you down and risking their life to bring life into this world? Because that is what I consider when a woman, whether she is a good mom or not, she still laid her life out. And she could die to bring a child.
Let me ask this, since this is a solution-based show and this is a relationship strategist. I love that.
Yeah. And you're a strategist
what are some suggestions for our beautiful co-host, admitting that she does have these jaded ways about men?
Well, okay, to be honest, like I said, from this show, I have been able to see to me better. That again, my perception is not all. And I want to understand that is my perception is not all. But I'm only speaking of, again, the 20, the 30, the 40 men that I may know, that I may come across, and to me, that's a large number of like, hey, and it's just the fact that, like, I want us to become a healed society. I want us to be able to come and say, like, hey, we got real things systemic, we got real things environmental, we got real things preventing us from being able to say, hey, and I love that this, I got it from her. Okay. It's not literally from me. It is literally being with someone that is human based. Okay. Because again, I am a girl's girl, and I'm not saying that we ain't wild and we ain't this, but there's a lot of things, and the same thing for men.
Okay. So
why we do what we do. Okay,
this was a question for me.
Okay.
Him, about you.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm be glad.
So the first thing I would say is, we got to be very careful about painting with a broad brush, right? Because when we start saying, well, men are like this, or all men or all women are like this, we have to understand that it's not all men and it's not all women. So in order to avoid being jaded, we have to understand that no, it's not everybody, right? Now, is there a subset? Are there certain people? Absolutely. That's the first thing, right? I think the second thing is to have compassion on people and recognize that there is a reason that this man, is not the way he's supposed to be. There's a reason why he doesn't know how to lead. There's a reason why he is not ambitious. There's a reason why he's not showing up as he's supposed to. There is a reason behind it. You may or may not know, right? So, like, if you're married, hopefully you guys have had enough depth in conversations where where you can see where some of these things come from, right? The way he grew up, the way his parents treated him, things of that nature, right? But if you're dating, though, obviously you may not know. But just knowing that, okay, there's something going on, and that's what's happening with that, right? As far as his behaviors. Then the third thing is we got to be careful about first looking at ourselves, right? Because we actually attract, a lot of times we attract what we are. So a lot of times there are people that are getting these bad relationships over and over and over and over and over again. And we're like, oh, well, it's the women or it's the men, or they're just not good. But, mentally, and nervous system wise, we're actually trained based off of what happened to us in our past to actually be attracted to this type of dysfunction. And so there's a reason like, wow, why did I get this guy? He's a cheater, and that guy's a cheater, and this guy's a cheater. Dang, 3 times in a row, they all cheated. Then guys are no good. But to take a stop and look like, wait a second, hold on. I'm not saying these guys are good, but dang, what's going on inside of me that's all I'm attracting? And then the work I've done with women, when we start changing that mindset and start changing who they are and raising their confidence and their self-worth, then all of a sudden you stop attracting those types of guys, right? So now instead of being jaded and thinking like, oh, well, all guys are like that, like, oh no, there was something inside me that needed to change. And once that changed, now, oh, the better guys keep coming, better options keep coming, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. And then also the authenticity, right? Even speaking to that, right? Is this person being authentic, or are they being performative? You know, are they coming to you and it's like, oh yeah, you know, and love bombing you, or are they coming to you and they're putting on this big show and this bravado and all those things like that? You know, if they're doing all those things like that, then you can kind of sit back and be like, yeah, that's not no, that's not like this is like a regular conversation, right? And what we're doing here, like, can we have a regular conversation and hear one another, understand one another, or is it just me grandstanding the whole time? No, absolutely not. So by being able to look at some of those, you know, behaviors, right, you'll be able to avoid being jaded. And then I guess the last thing I will say is also remember that we're not perfect either, right? That there are certain things that we do that maybe and things that we haven't unlearned yet, you know. And so we wouldn't want someone to paint us with a broad brush. We wouldn't want someone to come to us and say, oh yeah, see, all people are like that because Keith, he made that mistake, or he did this, or he did that. We wouldn't want someone to do that to us. So I always keep that as a, you know, treat others how you want to be treated, the golden rule. Think of it along those lines. And then also have compassion like that as well. Like when I make mistakes, I don't want someone to forgive me, so I'm going to forgive them as well. Or, hey, that's just not that's just something I, that's not part of my values or whatnot, right? So, hey, maybe that's what you do, or maybe, yeah, you want to come in for a fun time, but not a long time, but that's not me. So I know my values. I know what I'm trying to do. And so I'm not going to engage in that conversation. So I would say that's the last part. Just, treating people how you want to be treated, and then also being authentic, our authentic self the whole time, so we can make a proper choice, right?
A proper choice. I like the proper choice.
I was trying to think of something like, all right, I put her on blast. I'm like, what kind of advice do I need?
But no, for me, and I get what you're saying. I just want, you know how like things can be true all at the same time, right? Mm-hmm. And I know that nobody's perfect. I know that there are good men out there. That is not up for debate. When we are speaking of the ones that are not, that has not evolved, and we are still loving on those guys, those are the ones that I'm only speaking of. I'm not speaking of no one else. I am only speaking of that, the same way that, again, when my friends tell me about women who ain't shit, there are women who ain't shit. And again, we know that there are women that ain't shit. But I'm speaking for the women who ain't shit, and they don't this and they don't that, and they need, okay, we're speaking of them. But in this space, that again, I feel that as women, we talk about women who ain't shit. We talk about reasons, why they ain't shit, and things that we can help on figuring out. I want for men to be able to help and, like move forward like, okay, y'all know y'all got some ain't nothing ass nigga friends. You get what I'm saying? And y'all hang with it. And that's just, again, the same thing. If I'm hanging with a chick that ain't about nothing, I might not be hanging with her too long, because, again, that comes with certain problems that I don't want to deal with. Same thing with y'all. Y'all may not hang with them, but for the ones who are, how do we all coexist and better ourselves?
So you're spot on with that, right? There's I'll be honest, like I don't hang out with any guys like that. Not at all. Because I don't want that energy in my circle. I have values, I have morals, I have things like that. Like if you out here, cheating and dicking around and doing all that stuff, you can't be in my circle, right? Now I'm not talking about anything from a judgmental point of view. That's just not who's gonna be attracted to me. I'm not on that, right? Right. The guys that have my circle, these guys, they're married, they're honest, they're hardworking, like, like attracts like, right? Like that's what ends up happening. And very similar to like what I was telling you with the female client that I was working with, where she started to change who she was, and then she started to attract that what was like for her, right? And so the problem is, though, it's just like you said, those guys who ain't about nothing, they're around other guys who ain't about nothing. right? So they'll cheat, you'll get mad about it, and their boys will be like, man, she's tripping. It's not that big of a deal. It was just one time, she talked to you the wrong way that one time. So nah, it's cool, or, we as men, we're supposed to have multiple women. We're designed for that. See, because women can get pregnant and they have to wait 9 months, but that's the people they're around, reinforcing the same foolishness, the same garbage, the same, idiocy. Like that's what they're around. So as far as like, how do we influence those guys, right? It would probably be in very small doses, right? Maybe I'm speaking at an engagement and they're in the crowd. Maybe they come across a video. But as far as like being one-to-one, like we're hanging out, you're coming over to my house, and it's just not going to happen, right? Because you're just not going to be my sphere of influence. Now, as far as what the women do in that case, right? Now, you got to make sure you set good, strong boundaries, and you got to stick to them, right? This whole struggle love thing, or if I love him enough, and no, absolutely not. I'm not trying to earn your love I'm not trying to save you. No, that's not what this is all about. No, we're supposed to be working together to be a partnership. We're supposed to be a relationship. We're supposed to be a couple. And you out here doing the most, right? And you're rejecting everything that I'm trying to give you. So then at some point in time, you have to be like, okay, well, I did everything I was supposed to do. I'm out. Oh, no, I love you, girl. I love him. I'm going to get right. Oh, girl, Yeah, no, I'm going to see some evidence. I'm going to see some hard, the words, we're done with the words, right? And that's a big thing too. I know, there's a lot of women that love words or whatnot. Words without action are useless. They're absolutely useless. If I say I love you and I don't do anything to show it and nothing to prove it, I don't show up. I don't take you on dates. I don't rub your feet. I don't give you a kiss. I don't write you a letter. I don't get you a gift. I don't show up. I don't love you. I can't. How? Even the Bible says faith that works is dead. So unfortunately, there's a lot of women out there that get stuck on the words, but you're not looking at the actions. And I've seen that a lot of times with the women I work with. It's like, in my practice where they're talking about these guys and it's, oh man, I love him. And oh man, we just have a future together. And I'm like, okay, well, where are the actions that prove that he really is about that? And he really loves you, really wants you. Crickets.
Quiet.
Well, he did this one thing that one time, oh,
Crickets,
well, in the beginning, and it's like, nah, I'm sorry, man. That ain't it. That ain't it. I'm sorry. He don't really want you like that. I'm saying, and then you have to look at that. I'm not saying there aren't some good things that were there, but for what a man is supposed to do, because we know when a man wants a woman, and this is across the board, when a man wants a woman, nothing's gonna stop from getting that woman. Just not. Because he knows she's valuable. I don't want no one to take her. And give y'all another story as well. My wife is okay with me sharing these stories, but my wife, before me and her got together, right? She was she had a friend that she was talking to, right? And she wanted to do a long distance relationship. The friend didn't want to do a long distance relationship. She talked to me about it, and because at that point we were just kind of just friends as well, right? And then he said, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. And she was like, okay, I guess there's no relationship, right? And I came, and now almost 20 years later, it'll be 20 years to married in September. It'll be 21 years together. We're still together. But I cannot tell you how many times, these other guys from her past come back. Oh man, I just want you so much. I love you so much. Oh man, all these guys, right? Because y'all out here messing around. Y'all didn't see the value. I'm like, I see the value. I gotta lock that down. And listen, I didn't have a pot to piss in or a house to throw it out of, but I knew her value. I'm like, nah, I ain't leaving her. I gotta have her, right? So we got married like a year later, right? And then again, we've been together.
Yeah, I caught that.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
I said, okay.
I always tell the story of like I got taught about relationships in one relationship, right? Because the way he pursued me was like a full pursuit of like, yes, I'm here, I'm showing up. He was over here, he was at my basketball games, he was everywhere that could be in my vision of where,
yeah.
And then in the same relationship, several years down the line, he also showed me what a person who's not pursuing you looks like. So I learned two very strong lessons in one relationship, and I value that, because I'm like, oh no, this person is not interested in me.
Yeah.
I know they're
Because
not
when he was, this is what he did. And now that he does not do that, he's no longer interested in me.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
It's very a person's energy and their actions will tell you a lot. You just
Right?
you have to be open to accepting what it is.
That part. You have to see it for what it is. If you find yourself going through mental gymnastics, if you're a woman, you find yourself in that to try to prove how he's pursuing you or how he wants you. If you find yourself trying to, well, maybe because that one time, he did that one thing and it really meant that, and it's like you know, right? You just have to be honest to yourself, like, he don't really want me like that. But not look at it like, oh, because I'm less than, right? I guess I'm not good enough. That's why he doesn't. That's why he's not pursuing me. I'm not good enough.
Right.
Maybe if I love him better, or have more sex with him, or cook him more meals, or do this, then maybe finally he will finally want me. It doesn't work like that. That's not the way the template works. You know what I mean? The scripture said when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. The men pursue the women, right? That's how it works. Whenever you see it in reverse, it doesn't usually work out so well. And a lot of times, if you ever see it in reverse, it's usually a lot of those guys who have been like babied by their mothers, right? They don't know how to stand up on their own 2 feet. And so instead of being a wife, you want to be his mom all over again. And that's not hot. That's not sexy. That's not like, ooh, I really want you.
Where trying to do it to your mama.
Like it's not. So it's really clear. A man that wants you, he will make his intention known. Like Marquis, like you were saying, like out the gate, he will let you know, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm trying to build. I want to get married. I want kids. This is what I'm looking for. Are you about that or not? If you're not, then hey, we can keep it pushing. But if you are, he's going to pursue. Yeah.
So many people say that because they want to get. It's a lot of motherfuckers out here that you can get some coochie or some dick from. Okay, it's a lot. So stop trying to go for the ones who want to have a real meaningful relationship. Stop going, oh, well, because she looked good. I really wanted to talk to that. But you had no intentions of wanting what she wanted, and you only said what you know she wanted to hear. That to me is like, no.
Well, Dr. Keith, we will be here all day picking your brain.
Man,
because, talking to you.
Look, I should have asked you more questions last time.
My bonus questions aside of everything else, if you don't mind. What was your dissertation on?
My dissertation was on burnout and emotional and behavioral disorder teachers. Because my doctorate degree is in education. So,
oh my God, I almost fell. I spirit animals. Lord. Oh my God. That's crazy. When I say, okay, we'll talk later. Okay. But thank you so much. I love listening to me.
Burnout and what?
Burnout with emotional and behavioral disorder teachers and the type of support that helps prevent that.
Okay. So in education. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. I might need to read that.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you. Please let the people know where they can find you, how they can contact you. Please, y'all book with this man.
Hey, if y'all couples, if y'all single, he look like he got, men. You got somebody that you can talk to. Okay? Like you take all forms of insurance.
This what you do.
Everything
you remember that those tools he gave you? Remember your communication skills, how you bring it up, you ask questions. Hey babe, have you thought about a therapist? I found a great one.
Yep. That's how we ain't gotta be like, hey babe, I talked to someone.
I think you should call and just call.
Yeah.
And see if y'all
he
can
seem pretty dope. If y'all vibe, hey. But we want better for y'all. We want y'all to be present in loving each other. Not just you loving me loving just you. No. Us, the quality of life. You are here. You are worthy of being here.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Yeah. So let the people know how to find you. And
and honestly, I'm all over social media: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, X. You could, honestly, the probably easiest thing to do is to search my name, Keith Fairclough. If you search that, you'll find me everywhere, right? I would say you could search up my private practice that is Freedom Change Success. Search that up, and you'll find me there as well.
Freedom
Again,
Change Success.
yeah, I've put enough stuff out there to
put in the comments if you can.
make it easier to find me. Someone actually found me the other day on ChatGPT. I was like, whoa, that's a new one. Never heard that.
That's cool.
That's
cool.
Not hiding, not hard to find. Again, search my name, or you can search my private practice name, Freedom Change Success. You'll be able to find me.
Well, we definitely appreciate you. We value you, your knowledge, your wisdom, and just what you are doing in the community and helping all of us. Of course, I look forward to us working in the future in some different capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for being our guest of love. And until the next time.
Absolutely. No, thank you for having me. I appreciate you all.
All right. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Take care.
Wow. How was that?
That was so. I'm like, wow.
You did all right. You didn't do all right.
I did better.
She did all right, but she didn't do all right. And I'm looking at her like,
I didn't do bad. I'm proud of myself.
You did, and then you didn't at the same time.
Okay.
It's very
it
parallel.
Okay.
All right. So yes, thank y'all so much for tuning in. The bottom line is that we want to make sure that we have some men that can come in, and y'all already know that when we come to Let's Talk Love, it's about talking about solutions. Let's start talking about how we can heal this thing called us. And let's talk about how we can show up for men in ways that are supportive and not demanding, and in reality, it is the same thing you want. So just twist the coin a little bit. You don't want nobody coming in demanding you for something. You want to feel supported, So ask that person what support looks like. Offer some compassion without coddling.
Mm-hmm.
I know that because I was a parentified daughter that I enable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I'm massively purging from myself, and just in the smallest of ways of not even offering help. Just seeing if they need my help. Let them come to me. Because coddling and doing all those things, if I'm doing everything, you don't have to. You can be in a space where you kicking back, got your heels up, and you already know that I'm conquering everything. So you don't have to do the thing. So hold space without controlling, and love men in their language, not yours.
Ooh.
But I think that's the same for. I need to stop saying that's the same for everybody, because I try to stay on track. The fact that this is about men, but it's real. Like, you can't really love people your own way. You have to actually figure out how they need to be loved and how they want to be loved.
Yeah.
And what is their love language, and march and dance and sing in that.
Yeah.
I know my love language is acts of service. And that's something that I have to work on, because in my mind, like, I'm showing up.
Yeah.
I'm there. I'm spending time with you. Like, I'm cuddling with you. Like, I'm nowhere else. So why would you second guess that? In my mind, nobody else is getting this type of intimacy from me. They know me. They see me out, but nobody is. Their skin and their legs is intertwined with my skin and my legs, and we watching TV in my house, in my bed. You know what I mean? But yes. So anywho, I'm working on that. Affirm efforts, not just the outcomes.
Ooh, okay.
I do agree with Dr. Keith said that, I can affirm if you're affirming efforts, but not effort 8 on the same effort.
Okay.
Okay. If it's just like, oh, you're a doer, and I'm only like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad you got that done, but not like, thank you for even getting up to do da 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 da. Because sometimes, they don't want to do the thing, but create emotional safety. And it's just very important. Okay, guys. And what I want to say to every man listening, You deserve love that doesn't demand performance. And I want y'all to
Ooh.
hear this from a woman. So that when you go back to your communities, your tribe, y'all little tiki huts or wherever y'all be at, having the men powwow, say that you heard this from a woman. Be honest, because in the hindsight of we don't hear it, we don't hear it, we don't have a safe space. There is no rooms for men. Like Dr. Keith said, there's plenty of places for you to find help, even if it's Chat GPT. But I think it's very, very important for women to make sure we open up a space for you all to be able to relax and let some of that guard down. Because love doesn't require perfection. We know that. So anybody looking for perfection, they need to look within, right? And love will let you rest. It'll let you breathe. It'll let you be a full-on human being. And I loved when he said, because this is deep, when he said the only emotion that most men tend to weigh to is anger.
Anger, yeah.
And then even when they're like, all right, well, let me try to be a little bit of happy, you might have somebody shutting and shrinking that happiness down. Like, why you being so goofy? Why you being so, like, you need to chill. You need to relax. And you know what's so crazy is we had this conversation the other day about me wanting to be more fun and more, loose and live. And she gave me this whole speech about who I am and what I'm doing and what I'm pursuing. I'm thinking like, I know all that, but it doesn't negate the fact of wanting to just be human.
Yeah.
Right? No buts. At the end of the day, there's the human that lives in all of us. There's that little kid that lives in all of us. And it's just lurking. It's just lurking. Life has settled you down and calmed you down and mellowed you out. So I'm just floating on this one terrain majority of the time. But on the inside, it's like, oh my God, let's do this. But that's not what's coming out. Right? So allowing a man to be goofy, be silly, play with you, you know what I'm saying? It ultimately makes you be silly and you be goofy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be in a relationship where we just serious all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I never want that. I need to laugh.
And I have to take my own accountability for my level of it. You know, and figuring out why are you seeming so serious? Like, but I'm not, you know, and I'm just chilling. If that makes sense. But you deserve support that feels like a partnership and not pressure. Yeah.
I like that. You again, and on both sides, you deserve. Yes. Wow.
Without pressure. Yeah. It makes me think about our guest of love last week. We had Adrian Hunt on, and when he stated that in a relationship, it should not be hard.
Yeah, you're right.
And I 100% agree with that. There's some other people who fully believe that relationships are hard, and that's just what they are and how they're supposed to be. Relationships are hard. They are so hard. And when you talk to couples, I'll be listening to them. Man, they so hard. It's so much work. I'm thinking like, what are y'all doing?
Who wants to go and be in a relationship?
What are y'all dragging behind y'all? A wagon to make it, so hard? Like, what are you guys? Let's figure some things out and sort some things out. You deserve appreciation that sees your heart, not just your labor. And you deserve softness without shame. It's real. It's a real thing. So if you have a safe space to land, appreciate it. Appreciate what you have. And don't allow your own, as Dr. Keith said, your own spiral of communication to tell you that you don't deserve it. Right? And if nobody has told you today, I want to tell you that I see you, I honor you, and you deserve to be loved in a way that feels like support and not sacrifice. I definitely appreciate y'all tuning in and coming to chit chat and talk love with us. I can't find y'all.
Are we on?
I don't know.
I hope not.
Let's see. Where are we at?
Okay, it still says yes, we're still on there. Hey.
We love y'all. That was a great show. Until next week, Thursday.
I feel like I learned
7 o'clock. even if you catch the show later, just so we can like keep this show going, if you don't mind, share this show with other people that you think may benefit from the conversation. Please share with a male in your life. Even if everybody shares it with one male in their life, then we've reached more people. And if you are on a platform where you can subscribe and like the show and things like that, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And thank y'all for the comments. We love when y'all
Today
comment.
was nice.
Yeah,
I love
we
that.
love when you guys comment and
We had
let
a
us know y'all in the
few.
building. That's major because
Yeah.
we don't necessarily know. We can't see that you're there.
Yeah.
But having your input on what we're talking about is very important to us because we are wanting to be solution based and making sure that we having real conversations that create solutions. All right.
Yes.
All right. Well, we love y'all.
Do we have next week? Are we still with the men's empowerment? We got one
more week.
One more show with y'all.
We
Okay.
got
I want to hear y'all.
So if there is a male that would like to come on and be our guest of love, you are more than welcome. Let me know and we will get you scheduled. We have one more pillar of love. And let me tell y'all how I broke it down for you for the one time. So the next week would be,
and I love that for us,
I need my people. And this is the pillar of brotherhood and connection. So real time, it would be cool to have two guys.
Yeah.
So brotherhood and connection is because it's about building that bond, you know. And like he said, creating a circle that makes sense for you.
Yeah.
All right. Next week, y'all. Love y'all. Peace. We out.
Peace, y'all. Peace.
We need some outro music.